Welcome to the realm of where monkeys roam, the Mystic Mine territory. Make sure you guys subscribe so you do not miss out on some excellent content. So this is a fun little twist on the Mystic Mine theme. Now, everybody's always like, oh, you monkey if you play this deck. Their definition of monkey is you're just kind of caveman. You're not advanced. And players are mad because this level of Yu-Gi-Oh! Ruins their day. Understandable. I'm sorry that none of you played during chain burn format and you guys didn't understand how angry we got at that deck. So now that Mystic Mine exists as not only a degenerate card in the burn category, it also exists as a means to destroy the competitive metagame, getting that free shop. Now, this particular build was sent to me by Akano, and the way that this build works, much like any other Mystic Mine, is you are going to sit here and you are going to grind out your opponent. So if your opponent's going first and they build full combo board, say like VFD for example, and they set up this huge board, you don't care. Alright, you're going second with this deck, and you're going to use the best cards in the game that push for the going second to disrupt the opponent. Alright, you got all 9 of them here. So, game plan, you hit the second button, you burn your opponent out of the resources, you slap Mystic Mine on the table, and you offer them the handshake, because now they have to grind against you for the rest of the match. Alright? And of course, once again, this is my favorite part before we start tearing into this deck. Pot of disparity, baby! I've talked about so much about the power that this card adds into the rogue category. Getting a banish 6 in this stupid deck. You don't care about your extra deck game 1. Why would you? Alright, yeah, you have access to super polys, but that's just kind of win more at some games, alright? Being able to get that excavation, yes, okay, so you do play the pot of extras in this deck, but that's because you need resources, alright? Because you're not always... Here, I'll just prove this here. Oh, look, we got the duality. See, look at that. See, look, I opened double extrav. That's cool. Alright, you see how good at this game I truly am? Alright, oh, look, we drew the Mystic Mine. That's pretty basic stuff. The duality. Oh, man, look at all these games I haven't seen us... Oh, well, that's good. You're going to disparity here, and you're going to reveal... Mystic Mine. My favorite. Yeah, see, like, there's not hardly much of a confliction here. I always hear, like, yeah, there's always the, oh my god, what if you open up the extra in the disparity? That's a chance I have to take, alright? Like, I will manage my resources based on how that scenario proves itself to me, alright? I can also disparity and duality in the same turn, so nice confliction there, right? There is none. So, yes, the Blazing Vortex does offer a new level of support for Rogue. And I've been saying that so dang much. Alright, so expect to spend a lot of money to pick these cards up. So, Mystic Mine, the Unga Bunga deck. Alright, so we have one copy of Cauldron. I know a lot of builds like pushing for multiple copies, and I understand that. It is effectively a secondary win con because you'll burn out your opponent. I think, though, for all intents and purposes, playing one Cauldron is perfectly acceptable. Alright, and before you guys start grinding on me here, being like, well, where are the Silent Wobbies at? You need them. It does nothing to progressively assist you. It's optional, right? Like, you can play it, or you can side it, alright? Like I said, our game plan is we're probably going to slam second for game 1. We can adjust from there as we see fit. Now, of course, we need to play triple copies of Dark Ruler no more. You're not going to be able to escape this unfortunate downside of things. You need to be able to stick that Mystic Mine on the field, alright? And if you cannot resolve that Mystic Mine, you're going to be in a crapshoot of a place, alright? Like, you really do think that modern-day Yu-Gi-Oh! Is fair with putting like 85 quadrillion negates on the field? We do need ways to bypass that BS, and Dark Ruler No More is going to give you that option. Another big thing here is you're going to have Demise of the Land. Whenever your opponent's going to splash summon a monsters, you get to activate the field spell directly from your deck, so that's where you're going to bring out the Mystic Mine. I've heard, this was really weird, recently I heard somebody being like, oh man, I think you should only play 2 copies of Demise of the Land in your deck. And I'm like, no, because Mystic Mine is the best card in the deck. Why do I not want more? Okay, so the only other option that I would hear for wanting to cut down on copies of this is because Metaverse went to 1 on a couple lists ago. There's no reason to try to adjust and push that off, all right? You still want to be able to resolve this card. Of course, we have 1D Fisher. This is actually kind of interesting. So the sub-pod of the deck is you establish the Mystic Mine. You'll also be able to set up other devastating floodgates along the way to put your opponent into the... I hate this deck. This is so unfair. We have triple copies of the Field Barrier. This is going to ensure that our Mystic Mine isn't going to detonate itself. All right, and plus neither player will be able to activate another field spell, which is absolutely fine, all right? I've seen some weird things happen, but you need it. All right, we also have the 1 copy, the Final Countdown. One of this is... I really wish we could use other copies of this. But pay 2k and 20 turns, you're going to win the game. Absolutely fine here. This is going to be your... Besides the Cauldron, you have 3 primary forms of winning. You have the Cauldron, you have the Final Countdown, and you have Yield Deck Out strategy. Alright? Keep in mind that a Yield Deck Out is like the one you don't want to do, but sometimes you just don't troll into the Cauldron or to the Final Countdown. It actually happens, all right? That's at least what this card's supposed to do. This card's supposed to give you the option to be able to filter in for this. Now, we also have to play the triple copies of Goddess Skuld's Oracle. This is another one that I heard somebody like, oh, play 2 of it. I don't think you want to play 2 of this in this deck. All right, like, all jokes aside, though, like, yeah, if you draw multiples of this, that's big stinky poo-poo, but that's fine. All right, you're just going to continuously look at your opponent's deck until they hit Twin Twister, Twin Twister, Twin Twister. And you're going to be like, well, you know, I guess I'll have to Dark Bribe that. So at that point, like, it's just bad luck at that point, but there's nothing you can do about it. Like I said here, same thing here with the Dark Will of No Mores. You're going to need those Lightning Storms to blow off stuff. The main purpose of this is to try to bait that negate. That way you can slap Yield Mystic Mine on the field so that we can beat the opponent. I already talked about how good this card is, the level of interaction with being able to filter for the additional resources for whatever you need in whatever situation. If your opponent negates this, works for me, all right? Also, triple copy spot duality, same thing here. You're going to have 5 abilities to toggle through the top of the deck for those resources. Then we also have the triple copies of Pot of Extravagance. Yeah, we a little bit confliction there, but that's fine. This is the best draw card. You're not trying to... I actually heard somebody say that you should play Pawn of Desires and Mystic Mindburn. I'm like, no, stop right now, all right? Yes, I need to maintain the amount of cards in my deck. Let's banish our extra copies of Mystic Mind. No, you're not doing that. That's so dumb. All right. Of course, we have triple copies of Dark Bribe. This is something that you're basically going to have to make sure that you take full advantage of. Judgment and Dark Bribe are going to be your only real forms of negation. You're going to have to make sure that you use these for the Mystic Minds, for the protection on the Mystic Minds. Correction there. So Cosmics, the Twin Twisters, and things like that. You'll also be able to tell what your opponent's going to draw for their card in combination with the Goddess Skuld's Oracle. So, you know, in the case of the Twin Twister, Twin Twister, Twin Twister predicament, I mean, that's just bad luck, all right? Triple copies of Even the Match, like I said, this is the Trinity here. These 9 cards are for the blowout. Same thing here with the Macrocosma. You use this in combination with the Dimensional Fissure to basically further stall and burn the opponent. Well, inconvenience them is my favorite part. 1 Metaverse to activate the Mystic Mind, and then the triple copies of Judgment for the additional protection. Honestly, very solid reasonings across the board here with this deck. I don't have any issues with it. The extra deck is just 2 Ultimate Falcon, 2 Last Warrior, 2 Starving Venom, 2 copies of Trifulvertum, 2 copies of Dragostapelia, 2 Exterior, and triple copies of Mud. Side deck here, we have triple copies of Droll and Lockbird because we want Drytron to have 0 fun in their day. Triple copies of the Silent Wabi, like I said, either you're maining this or you're siding it. All right, and I think that that's very fair. Triple copies of Prohibition. Maining these kind of feels like Dead Space, all right? A lot of players are probably going to scoop game 1 to you if they're not already playing Spell and Trap removal in the main deck, and that's absolutely fine. All right, take your free Ws where you get them. Triple copies of Super Poly. This is adjustable. You don't have to play this. I do like what the Waking the Dragons and the Super Poly brings to the table, at least giving you access to the extra deck. Like a Last Warrior behind a Mystic Mine or something fun like that. Like, that's really going to ruin the opponent's day. So that wraps up the side deck. So I figured we'd just cover Mystic Mindburn today because it's been a little while since we've actually had the chance to enjoy something. I think that this deck is actually kind of still cool and relevant for what the deck does. And now having 2 more filter cards after Blazing Vortex to add to your strategy is quite the interesting thing. So make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss out on more cool things like Mystic Mindburn. And I'll see your beautiful faces back here with some more cool, awesome content. Peace out, guys. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCool40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCool40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcoolgames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.